You'll follow along.
I've done it a time or two.
You've done it
You'll be all right.
plenty of times with us. But yeah, our show, we just kind of
What's that?
rhythm that works for us.
Morning, everybody. It's 8:35. Time for Jeremy Larkin's St. George Real Estate Morning Drive. Jeremy, how you doing this morning, man? I'm loving the sweatshirt, buddy. You got Jingle Cats or something.
Jingle Cats. Listen, if you're not on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, you're going to miss out on this. It's probably going to be one of the greatest losses of the holiday season.
You're talking about the sweater? The
Yeah,
sweatshirt?
it's so
pretty awesome.
So I'm going to describe it. If you want to pick us up Facebook Live, by the way, facebook.com/Jeremy Larkin. I picked this bad boy up, I think at Target last year.
Okay.
Let me describe it for the radio listeners. 94.9 FM, 890 AM. Ugly green, classic sweatshirt, not a hood. You know, there's a classic sweatshirt,
classic,
like growing up we used to have. Like it's popular again. In the middle, a bunch of cat faces with holiday,
8 cats.
poinsettias and things like that, and bells.
One of them
This
is
is on
wearing
the
a
shirt.
hat, a Santa
Yeah,
hat.
it's killer.
There's also a teddy bear at the bottom.
It's good.
It's awesome.
So we're gonna have some fun this morning, and make sure when we get you going, you get that mic up by your mouth, Wes, or they're not gonna hear you. By the way.
Yeah.
We've got Wes Davis here, NAI Commercial. Good morning, man.
Hey, how are you?
I'm amazing. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. I didn't get the memo on the Christmas.
Well, you look good. You got either your Utes red or you look like holidays, man.
There we go.
You look good. So Wes Davis is a friend of mine, good buddy that's been in the business a long time with us, and we're gonna talk. It's gonna be fun when we get rolling here. We're gonna talk about all of these big buildings downtown. Do we really need all these big buildings downtown? And people are asking, by the way, Wes, this is what you can be noodling as we set this show up. They're like, well, how can they lease those out? It's so expensive. Who's going to really live there? Wes is going to share with us exactly what's going on. He's going to talk specifically about Joule Plaza, Joule, like the what do we call it? A measurement of energy.
Yes.
Is that the best way to do it? Yeah. Well, he's going to tell us how they came up with that. I know, but Wes is going to tell the rest of the listeners where that came from. So we're going to talk about these big buildings, Joule Plaza, which he is intimately involved with, and we'll talk a little bit about City View, which is certainly a competitor, and it's awesome. I mean, here's the teaser. I love these big buildings coming in downtown because putting bodies every time. Folks, I'm Jeremy Larkin, host of the St. George Real Estate Morning Drive. You can listen again, always, to our show, Facebook Live, facebook.com/Jeremy Larkin, or are we even live, Jesse? Did we go live on Facebook? Mm-hmm. Okay, I want to make sure. I wasn't even sure. Hey, if you're out there in the Facebook sphere, I didn't even turn on. I guess I could actually turn to Facebook and find out what the crap's going on here. Jeez, Andy, my gosh. It must be yeah, we're live. There we are. There we are. We look good. Jessica says yes. I'm assuming yes about the sweatshirt, and you're welcome. Anyway, you can listen 94.9 FM, 890 AM, or facebook.com/Jeremy Larkin. Andy, you look really good. You ever wanted to see yourself?
Yeah,
okay.
No, that's good. That's
no,
good.
You look pretty.
But when I turn this way, you can see the back of my
You
bald spot back
do
there.
well. My whole head is a bald spot. Couple things. Jesse's in studio. He's off camera. Congratulations to all of our volunteers from the Basket Brigade. We didn't talk about this. We have it was incredible. We fed 180 families, which was really cool. Amazing. And here's the best part. Like I went down to the Keller Williams. We have multiple KW offices, so we're an off-site office. Like we have a satellite office. I went down to the Hub Convention Center, and an employee there came up to me and said, "Listen, I gotta thank you for what? You guys are amazing." I'm like, "Thank you." I didn't even know what she was talking about, only to find out that one of her family members had received the basket, and there was an incredible story behind it. It wasn't like, well, they're just hard up and need some money. Like there was a heavy-duty, complicated family story, deaths in the family, like so much emotion. So that was really fun. But here's the also fun part is on the heels of it, all of our clients brought in, we did 200 pies the week after for our pie day, and our clients brought in 56 coats. So we did a coat drive. It was very last minute, Wes. We sent a mass text out the day before Pie Day, because we pies away, and said, bring a coat, gently used. I don't know if that's what we said. but 56 coats were going to be delivered this morning over to, what's it called? What do we even call the place now? Wes, you know what I'm talking about.
Switch
Switch
point.
Point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Over off Sunset.
Yeah, we're going to go over to Switch Point, and they asked for it. Juan Maximo Peña. Juan is a friend of mine from La República Dominicana, the Dominican Republic. Muy bien, eres un maestro de los... Hey, thank you, dude. He's in here chatting with me in Spanish. Senor Peña, dude, good to hear from you, my friend.
Wes, you speak Spanish?
Portuguese, a little bit of Spanish.
Português muito bem, dude. There you go. I know about 17 words. But it's fun. I'd like to learn Portuguese because I think it's close enough.
There's a little crossover
Yeah.
between the two.
Italian's got a little bit, but it's a little more kind of... Italian's a little more Nacho Libre, Jack Black's crappy Hispanic accent, which is more like an Italian accent, and Nacho is great.
Yeah.
It like every 2 minutes his accent changed. So we've got some good viewers here. We've got 12 folks right here watching as we speak. But we're going to hit this. We're going to deliver 56 coats over to Switch Point this morning. Thank you, Larkin Group clients. Happy holidays to all. Wes, let's talk about what's going on downtown. You want to do it?
Let's do it.
I think we should do it. And by the way, grateful for heat. You feel that in here this morning? Usually we complain in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
We come in here, but man, like, does your heat work in your vehicle, Wes? It's good. Got a good heating system.
It does. It does. I had a client drive down from Salt Lake this week. He said his heater went out about halfway, and he couldn't put on enough clothes to get warm.
Are you
to make the
kidding
drive
me?
down here. No, it was about 2 or 3 hours without a heater.
Oh man, yeah, because I would have been. Well, that's when you swing into Maverick and buy some of the Pugs beanies and gloves and some of those goggles. You know the goggles you get at Maverick. So the reason I even asked before Wes hops into this, that is funny. Halfway from Salt Lake, I'm in a 2003 Ford Ranger. It's worth about $750 the last 4 days at our office. It's just like our little office truck. My door in my car almost got ripped off because my kid didn't close it, and we backed into a pole in my driveway downtown. You realize I live 1 block from Jewel Plaza.
That's right.
Which is great segue here. Like when I stand in my yard, I just can look up there and see it, right? So anyway, I got in there this morning and the heat just turned to cold. I have no idea why. I don't know what was going on. Kind of fun to know, Jesse. I guess we're fixing the heat in the old Ford pickup. But then my kid and I are headed to Tonnequin Intermediate, and we're shivering, and it's blowing cold air and turning it off. And anyway, it's fun. All right, Wes, talk to me about it. Jewel Plaza. Tell them what Jewel Plaza is. Would you tell them? Because people are saying, well, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so Jewel Plaza was the first mixed-use project that was actually approved in St. George. It wasn't the first one to break ground, but the first one that was approved. It's 197 apartments and then about 20,000 square feet of commercial space.
Think about that, Andy. 197 apartments. And how
On
big
4
is that?
acres.
Yeah, that was it. I was asking
On 4
how
acres,
big.
yeah. We've got 2 levels of underground parking, covered parking.
Yeah.
And then on site, you have a ton of amenities. You've got fitness facility, community room, balconies, pickleball, pool, hot tub, decks that you can go out and
You're making
spend
me want
time
to move
on.
there, Wes, man.
It's
I'm
a
thinking,
great-
That sounds nice.
Come over, let's
Well,
give
and
you
I
a
haven't
tour.
and I haven't taken the tour yet. Where's the pool at?
Pool's in the back, and
Is
it's
it?
a large pool. It's got a large sun shelf. It's got a hot tub area, and then it's got a rock
Pretty
feature
cool.
that has some greenery landscaping growing
Yeah.
out the top.
Oh,
so
that's
it's pretty
cool.
It'll have
So-
tiki torches.
You see that? You see that? It's like being in the Pacific. You know, it's like being in Hawaii. Maybe even better. Maybe like Bora Bora. You know? Right downtown. Okay, so Wes Davis is with NAI Commercial. Wes does a lot of things, but that's his legal disclosure, right? We have
There
to
you
do
go.
that. We're with Keller Williams Realty. Now we're legal. Can't get any complaints. We've had complaints for everything I've ever done by other realtors.
Always haters.
There are plenty of haters. So help us understand what mixed use is. So out there.
Yeah, mixed use means in one location or one building you have a variety of different types of uses, whether it be residential, commercial, retail, office. So having mixed uses inside of the same building, inside of the same project.
So Jewel Plaza. Let's and I appreciate this description of mixed use. So let's set this up. 245 West. It's 245. Well, it is West. It's funny because on Google it says 245 Tabernacle, but it's 245 West. west. Would you fix that? Would you have something?
I think it's going to be 200 at 205 or either 200
Is it gonna change?
Tabernacle. Yeah.
Well, because it is on the corner. So give us a little background. I know for a fact that this is the home of the old Wilkinson Electric, and it's the same parcel and it's the same family. Tell people what a Jewel is, by the way,
Yeah.
because they're thinking JEWEL.
Wrong Jewel.
Wrong Jewel.
Wrong
Yeah,
Jewel.
give
yes.
us some background on what they were doing.
So the property there was owned, I think, for, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 years in the Wilkinson family. And then they ended up buying additional parcels around the block. And they bought, just continued to add through the years. And then eventually they relocated Wilkinson House of Lights. And I think 4 or 5 years ago, the building caught on fire. I think some kid threw some fireworks up
I
there.
remember
And
that.
and then, but about 6 years ago, we came up with the idea to put this project together. I came to the family and said, hey, what do you think about this? And that kind of started it all. And then when we were going through the entitlement process, we had to come up with the name. And I don't know if it's great or great Grandma Wilkinson had the nickname of Jewel, spelled differently.
Right,
And then
right.
since it was they're an electric company and had the House of Lights there, we also used Jewel as the electrical measurement.
Yeah.
And so it had a double meaning to the family, and it is spelled different than the Jewel that you have jewelry, but it is Jewel Plaza in remembrance of both the family and their business.
It is very cool. It's very cool background. And I grew up with those guys. I literally grew up with all of them, and like layers of their families were all my friends growing up. Whether it was Kaylin's family or Randy's or Buck's, it's all of them, right?
Yep.
So Joule is a unit of energy, right? A measure of capacity to do work or generate heat. And it's fun because people will go by and be like, wow, I don't understand what that says. The building looks good. Have you driven by, Andy?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Sure.
It is fancy.
And if you haven't driven by, Jeremy's going to come by and do a tour with us here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna get through the holidays, and we're gonna come there. Okay, Wes. So 197 units, and one of the questions that people are coming up with, is like, well, do we need all these big buildings? A block and a half away, I guess it's a block and a half, you have the City View project, which is also freaking cool. Like, it's all cool. That's the fun part. I was talking to Buck about, Buck came to get a pie.
Oh,
He always
good.
comes to get a pie. What are we talking about? I think it's amazing. How fantastic that we're putting density in our downtown, right? So you have 197. How big is City View?
120.
Okay, 120 plus the hotel.
Actually, a little bit bigger.
Is it bigger?
It is, yeah. I think about it. But
Maybe
it is plus the
maybe they
hotel,
started
yeah.
with 120, and I don't know because
They have a second tower, yeah, because it's a mixed-use project as well.
Yeah.
And they have some buildings that, like, the corner is just a hotel,
Mhm.
and then they have one commercial space on Tabernacle, and then some additional commercial frontage on St. George Boulevard.
So this is really cool. So you're talking about let's go ahead. Let's pretend that City View is 150, okay? Plus 197. I mean, you guys start looking at you're talking about nearly 350 units. So the question is, will they be leased? Speak to that.
So
Are they being leased?
City View opened their first tower about 4 months ago, and I think within 60 days they were at 90% or higher occupancy.
Boom, done. And talk to me about lease rates. Well, I mean, Jewel, all the lease rates because NAI's on both. But what are the lease rates for both these buildings?
On the residential side, you're anywhere from 1,000 to 1,600 a month.
1 to 2 bedrooms.
Yep, there's a mix. I don't think either one has 3 bedrooms. They're all 1 and 2 bedroom and studio options as well.
Yeah.
But that there's also an inclusion of some of your utilities, and then also all your on-site amenities are included in that as well.
Yeah.
We're going to have the mayor on here in a little while, and he's excited about these projects. He's like, St. George needs this, and we've talked a lot, Jeremy, about affordable housing in St. George, and buying a house sometimes when you're a young married couple isn't realistic. So this is an incredible fulfillment of needs.
Well, yeah, because here's the funny part. Everyone says, well, these sound expensive. The issue is owning a home is expensive, right? I mean, we all own home. Like, all of the ancillary costs of owning a home that you really don't have when you're living in that kind of a building, it piles up like crazy, man. Especially you're in a single family home, you've got landscape going on all over, you've got water going on, guys, my home, of course, is built in 1966. I feel like there's always something to be fixed, always something to be maintained, So they were at 90%. You guys started leasing when?
We started leasing about 30 days ago. We got our first our certificate of occupancy for Building A last week, and I think we've got 15 to 20 people that have
They're-
moved in or will
they
be
moved
moving in. Yeah.
So cool. You should come down when we tour.
Yeah.
You want to come down?
Yeah, what is it?
I don't know. We're going to do it
Just
after the
set it
holiday.
up.
After the holiday. Will you bring your swimsuit?
Yeah, I don't
Pool's
know.
not quite ready yet,
Oh, all right. I'll bring my pickleball
but you can still
paddle.
bring your swimsuit.
Right. Well, so,
Is the
okay.
pickleball court open?
No, we're gonna pour all that at the same time when we do the decking.
Yeah. So back to this question of, why do we need this? And I actually know the mayor's stance because the mayor and I have chatted many times. My best example of why this has to happen for downtown is the strip, the 1 block strip of Boulevard to Tabernacle on Main Street, which, and we complain, we're like, geez, it's like mortgage offices and little curio shops and antique shops. When are we gonna get businesses? My response to that is we will have businesses when we have density. But I know those are businesses, but you know what people are, right,
Yeah.
Wes? People want
Trader
fun.
Joe's.
Yeah,
and
they
PF
want
Chang's
they want
and-
fun businesses in the town, and they want fun places downtown. We can have those things when we have the population to support it, right? And so if we don't get that density, so you're talking about 197 plus another 140 or 50. Well, how many residents? I mean, I wonder how.
I think it's between 500 and 700 people.
Okay, 500, 700 people parking downtown, living downtown. It's pretty natural that when you're in City View or Jewel Plaza, that you wander over to Smith's, that you wander over to Judd's, that you wander over to 25 Main and grab a sandwich. Like, of course you're going to do that.
And you can walk to all of them. You don't even need to drive.
There's nowhere. I mean, I walk from, and I'm a block south. I love it. That's why I like officing downtown. Like yesterday, I had the dog in the office. That's the kind of office we run. And I was on the phone and just walked out on my headset at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and walked the dog and was on the phone on a call for 30 minutes in Town Square, wander around, walk back. Like, that's that lifestyle of being downtown. It's a very cool lifestyle. So how big are these buildings, Wes?
Square footage?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna talk in 2 to 300,000 square feet.
Whoa. It's big.
They're big. They're really big.
Yeah. How are these guys private about total? I mean, I don't mean actual costs, but I mean, maybe you can even speak to City View. Then you don't have to ever say that you knew how much they spent on Jewel. You have any idea what City View cost to build?
I think between the two projects, each of them is going to be somewhere between 25 and 40 million dollars.
Think about. Okay, this is killer. Well, St. George is just all we have is new construction. All the social media stuff. All these builders, all they care about is greed. You know what's funny? We actually all want to get paid when we go do our job. Isn't that weird, Wes? Whether we work at McDonald's or NAI Commercial or Cherry Creek Media, Radio, it's odd. We kind of need to get paid so we can pay our bills.
Right.
It's called an economy.
It's important.
Dude, I go on this show. I'm very, very, what's the word here? Passionate's definitely a word, but I start feeling kind of angry and sarcastic and cynical about people's views in the world. All the builders just want greed. 25 to 40 million. Think about that getting plugged into the economy, into the circulation, right? Because we have to look at money as it's all being put into circulation in the town,
Sure.
right? It's huge. All of the jobs to build it. I mean, we could be in a different city and have, every city's different, right? I mean, I guess we could be in a tech climate like Seattle or Northern California where there's tons of tech. Well, we're just not. That's not St. George, right? Because it's not St. George, we don't have 5 million people either, which would suck, wouldn't it?
And so that's probably the reason a lot of us live down here is because we don't have 5 million people.
Yeah, isn't that why people move here and then complain? Again, how many times have we talked about this? Just deadbolt the door on our way in behind us.
Yeah, nice.
We don't want anybody to. I get it, man. Like, as a kid, I grew up on 600 East. I think that, like, right downtown by the cemetery and the old East Elementary, and that was fun. That was a nice time. And Wes, where'd you grow up at?
South Jordan.
Okay, well, guess what? South Jordan was even a small town when you were a kid.
Yeah, we used to go ride ATVs where the district is, and
Right. And build underground forts and all that kind of crap that we did as kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's gone. unless you live out on the fringe, right? Unless you're clear at the edge of Little Valley or clear at the edge of Washington Fields, or you're right, all the way at the edge of Santa Clara. So what else should people know as we wrap this up today? Because if I'm a buyer today, I'm a tenant. I'm a would-be tenant at Jewel.
Okay.
Man, I've driven by, this thing looks super cool. I want to go over there, and I'm thinking I want to have the downtown lifestyle. How do I start? Who do I talk to?
We've got on-site property management, and the property management office is open. It's located right on 200 West, just off of Tabernacle. Go in and see Melanie, and she will give you the grand tour and show you around and kind of give you what your options are. And some of the other amenities on site is there's bike storage and a bike fix area. There is a pet area for those that want to come with their cats or whatever you may have.
Yeah, bring them in on a leash.
Like Jeremy's got. So there are lots of amenities on site. It's going to be a great place to stay. It's centrally located, and we've got some hopefully really exciting announcements on commercial tenants coming into the location. So be a great location to come out. Melanie can help you out.
I love that you segued to that. By the way, two things. I want to talk about commercial tenants and pets. So what about pets? Is there any? Can you have a pet?
You can have a pet. There are some restrictions on size.
Mm-hmm.
But pets are allowed, and there is a pet grooming, pet washing area. There's also a pet area on the exterior of the building. So pets are allowed.
Yeah.
Very cool. As long as the dog's not bigger than you are, you're probably going to be okay.
You're probably okay. Yeah, a little lap dog is going to be just fine.
It's going to be just perfect. Well, and pets are, they're important. I know. Not because of cats. I don't own any cats. I have owned cats. Most of them ran away, though. But pets are family, to these people. And the thing about allowing pets there is, it makes leasing so much easier, right? Because there's so many people going, I can't find a rental with my pets.
Yeah.
So talk to us about commercial space. So there's 197 apartment units up, which is second to fourth floor.
Second and fourth floor, yep.
But main floor is retail, commercial. Tell us how much space and what's going on there.
We've got about 20,000 square feet of commercial space, and within that we've got only about 2,500 square feet that's uncommitted. All the rest we have either a signed lease or a signed LOI. We've got potential for a restaurant and a bar. We've got some commercial spaces like real estate, mortgage, legal, and some of the other type.
Did I hear, without going into names, I hear a real estate office is going in there?
There is.
Yeah, moving from one place to another nearby. It's funny, after the fact, I was like, oh man, I wish I were in there. I mean, again, convenience. The challenge is we're so locked into what we're doing where I am for the time being, on 50 East. But Trevor Eaton asked, where is Jewel Plaza at? Trevor, corner of 200 West and Tabernacle. So just, if you're thinking about the roundabout at Main Street and Tabernacle in St. George, just go 2 blocks west and boom, you cannot miss it.
Yeah, right across from City Hall. If you miss it, there's a problem.
Yep, yeah, you can go across the courthouse and get married or get divorced. You can just kind of really knock it out. You know what I mean? Sue your neighbor for some sort of an infringement.
Buy a short sale.
Yeah, buy a short sale or for. There's so much you can do at the courthouse. There's so much you can do. I think this is fun. I think that commercial space is very cool. But I've seen, it's funny, City View is sitting empty, their commercial space. I mean, I don't know. I guess I would think it would be full by now.
It's taken a little bit of time right now to get all the initial shell built out, and then secondly, to kind of get all the plans drawn in through the city. But I think they've got a few people that have committed to. We've got 2 that should be starting build out over at Jewel Plaza, 2 tenants that should. I think we started about 3 or 4 weeks ago with their plans to the city.
That is going to be cool. All right, we're going to wrap up. We got 60 seconds. Folks, if you've got questions, I want to give you some contact info for Wes Davis. Wes, what's the best way to reach you?
It is either wdavis@naiexcel.com or at 435-627-5705.
627-5705?
That's it.
Call Wes Davis. Wes does a lot, man. You really do. You've got a lot of stuff going. I think it's very cool. Merry Christmas to all. I would say all a good night, but we won't talk to you again until the 26th. On the 26th, do tune in. We're going to talk about 2 incredibly important things that you need to know about St. George real estate. And if you're a homeowner or a would-be homeowner, especially a landlord, we're talking about vacation rentals. There's a lot of them being built, and dude, it's very interesting the calls we're getting. And here's the call. I bought a vacation rental. I was told I'd get a sick ROI. I'm making no money. I want to sell it.
For a loss.
And we're going to talk for a loss. The only segment of the market that's losing value. We're going to talk about it next week. Visit us at soldinstgeorge.com. Over now. Let's kill these things. Thanks, people.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude, this is crazy. 62% of the nightly